Okay.
Sorry. Maria, do we have to dispense, can we dispense with a roll call?
No, we have to have it for each meeting.
Okay, then let's do the roll. Thank you.
Sherry Boye,
Present.
James Ellis,
Here?
Stephen Herman,
Here.
Madeline Flurry is absent. Archie McKee,
Here.
Nate Manette.
Here.
We have a vacant seat. Also present, Jeremy Evans, Maria Bourgeois, Kelly Brunette, Russ Kenyon, Rachel Child, Paul Ellis, and Justice Martin just arrived.
Hey, Justice. Hi, Justice. Very good. Any additions to the agenda?
Jim, like to ask if we could do a presentation on our annual report at the beginning of the agenda,
Okay.
just because I know that Sherry needs to leave at 3.
Okay.
And I'd like to make sure she's here for that.
Anything I can do to make Sherry's life better, I'll do.
And then we still have a quorum if she leaves, but I'd love for her to be here for that portion of the meeting.
Yeah, okay, go ahead. Let's, we'll revise the order and talk first of all about our annual report.
Well, that could be CEO report. How about that? Just go through and at CEO report.
Okay.
We'll do that.
Let's do it that way. Therefore, item number 7 will be first for this part of the meeting, for the EDC. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, thanks everybody. And we've been excited, or at least I have been excited. I don't know about anybody else, to be able to share with the board and the public for that matter, our 2022 annual report, a draft of which was presented or provided in the board packet you received on Friday. I encourage you to read it in detail, and a slightly edited version with some grammatical errors and spelling mistakes fixed was printed for you, or I hope it was printed for you. And you know, what we wanted to do today as a staff is to just present some highlights of the report, leaving the full report for you to take a look at when you have a minute. I'm sure we've all heard it before. I think I hear it on a weekly basis from people like members of the community, my own family members. Who are we and what do we do? And I mean, I think that's a good thing. That curiosity that people have about who we are and what we do is good. But what I want to make sure we do better and more of, going forward as a full team, as a board and staff, is that we're able to answer that question, both of those questions, who we are and what we do.
Right.
So the responsibility lies with all of you, all of us, to know what we do and why we do it. And if you had to look for one source of information to be able to say to somebody, here's what we did in 2022, it's right in that full report. So please take some time to understand it and ask questions. I am going to share my screen here and bring up a short presentation. Hopefully it works. And it's not just going to be me. We're gonna take turns here with this presentation. So it's not just listening to me, because who wants to listen to me?
We do.
While I'm doing that, I just want to express my appreciation for first the staff and also the board. I think we make a great team, and I enjoy working with all of you. And I love the fact that there is not anybody in either room who hesitates to share their opinion. and tell me how they really think about things. Because when you do that, it helps me better understand where everyone's coming from. And I think I can do a better job putting together policies and taking the actions that will best reflect the will of the team. So let's see if this works. Can everybody, great, it is working.
Looking good.
So again, this is a kind of a summary of our annual report, the full report you have. Here's the team. Again, they're all smiling. I think we're mostly smiling all the time. Once in a while, there's something that gets in the way of a smile, but generally.
Smiling. I recognize the guy who's in the top.
Yeah,
No.
what's the tie? What's the student
Yeah.
tie thing? That's weird. I don't.
Pretty impressive. It must have been photoshopped in. I'm sure Kelly photoshopped that in.
Was that high school?
Yes, that was my high school yearbook picture. And I have not aged a day
It's true.
since I was 18.
Just a point of order. On the role that we have for the board of directors,
Yeah,
should we put vacant as a seventh position?
we could. Yeah,
That's a
sure.
good point,
Just-
Jim.
Yeah, that's
Just
fine.
to make it
asking
more
if-
complete.
Yeah, just add it, that's all.
We'll just put lonely vacant seat
That's
on
right.
there. Great. So obviously it's a team, right? So we've got the staff, we've got the board of directors, and the legislature that appoints the board of directors. And I think Steve Steve pointed to that need to make sure we all are operating as a unified team going forward and
Right.
understanding that we're all in this together. Okay, so I'm not going to read our mission, but I will point you to the goals at the bottom of the page, because these are the goals that we have continued to have for the last several years. Strong economic development climate, vibrant entrepreneurial culture, flourishing downtowns, resilient industries. And so the rest of this presentation and the report itself is organized around these four goals. So first, I'm going to turn it over to Kelly.
All right. I'm just going to give a brief overview on some 2022 statistics for marketing and communications before we get into the goals. And then I guess looking at big picture, we're going to reflect back. And then after that, we will come up with a plan moving forward on how to market and communicate what we want to do this upcoming year. Recognizing that marketing and communication is a key component to our overall economic development success. We want to attract and retain talent, businesses, promote the county's brand messages, and promote our organization's policies, projects, and programs. When we talk about the county's brand messages, just to touch on those briefly, that's sort of what we finessed a couple years ago. Those are our key messages, sort of our elevator pitches for our top messages as why Franklin County is the ideal location for residents and businesses. So we have 5 of those that we try to touch on. And I think it's important just to mention those quickly, because that's what we are sharing on the website, social media, and the email. And one concept is in the middle of everywhere. That just touches on our location and trying to demystify that idea that our location is a hindrance instead of an asset. Homegrown success meets opportunities, really targeting our small businesses. Where the wilderness works, highlighting our resilient industries and how they benefit from access to the outdoors and the space to build and develop and grow their operations. Another one is where adventurers find home. That's talent attraction, highlighting the recreation and lifestyle that we have here that could be appealing for people, and a haven for families. Again, more of a talent attraction, which overlaps, with business attraction and visitor attraction and all types of attraction to Franklin County, highlighting our schools and the social connections that you can find here. So website, something to notice is really maybe a key takeaway is that we increase our overall users year after year since the website's been developed. And now we're at over 12,000 unique users a year. Social media, again, continues to grow with new likes. We have a decent following there that really helps us get our message out. Email, this past year, we have sent 30 emails out. We have a total subscriber list of 20,000, and we do have that segmented down into geographical location by zip code and interests, such as if somebody wants to receive information about bids or funding or press releases, we're able to customize how we send those emails out. Yeah.
Kelly, under social media, we have, I don't know Facebook, but the next one, is that LinkedIn or is that?
Instagram.
That's
Yep.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
We also, we have a YouTube channel and a LinkedIn account that I didn't include, but
Okay.
yeah, some,
And just a quick question,
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt, but on the page views for the website, we have our website and and then there's the county's website. Do you have any sense of what the page views per year are for the county website?
I don't. I wonder if they'd be interested or willing to share that. That would be helpful. Yeah.
I'd be interested, because that looks like a great number to me of people. That's an indication of people who are interested in economic development in Franklin County. And there's a misrepresentation, and I mentioned before, on the county website about economic development apparatus.
That's right.
And I'd be really curious, and that's a broader set of interests, I'm sure, of people going to the county site, but that's a very sizable number. I think the county should be aware of significant number of hits we have on our website. It's very, very important, and they should take advantage of that by adapting their own to incorporate us.
So, right.
So,
Yep.
Thank you.
And to take advantage that we do have a great email distribution
Right.
and social media, and we do put, when there is different events, when we want to generate some more interest or call to action, sometimes we do put paid money behind like the social media posts.
Right.
That performs.
It's good.
We receive a definite uptick when we do that. So it is beneficial. Yeah.
Thank you. And sorry
Yeah.
to sorry to
No
interrupt,
problem.
get distracted.
That's great. Maybe the one other thing is photo and video that I didn't include on here. In 2022, we did a photographer to take photos, and they were able to hit 17 different businesses in Franklin County. And we have another round planned for 2023 to get another dozen businesses or so, just because we want to show that real business, generic stock footage only goes so far to show some of our real businesses. We've been working on a video series, 2 or 3 videos that have been complete in 2022. We've got the others that are wrapping up early this year under that Where the Wilderness Works theme, hitting our resilient industries, a business representing each one of those. It's kind of it. Yeah.
Good.
When I get asked frequently when I go to a legislative meeting, how we get the word out. This is how we get the word out. None of this existed 3 years ago.
Right.
And we're going to keep at it. And it takes effort, it takes expertise, it takes discipline.
Yep.
You recall that it wasn't inexpensive to hire DCI to develop our brand and do our website. And oftentimes someone sees a logo and says, well, why did that logo cost so much money? Well, when we hired DCI, it wasn't just the logo that they provided us. They provided us a whole brand package, provided us all sorts of language. And Kelly has been very disciplined in using that language over and over again and trying to make sure that all of us as staff are using it because it was well done. And so Where the Wilderness Works came from that.
I like that.
And so we keep using it. Instead of going all over in different directions,
Right.
she's keeping us focused on on some key messages that were developed by an agency that's the best in the business. And so, I think these numbers are starting to show that we are getting the message out.
Great.
We might want to think about, when we do the next video, about getting in to that video presentation employees who are happy to be here because of the recreation and cultural schools and so on and so forth. I think, people-to-people contact is really a seller.
Right, yeah.
Well,
I
the
agree.
one that we have a video that is like 99% complete.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it is.
Oh, so in other words, you
Yeah.
got employees in there too?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
please excuse me.
Stand by.
Didn't mean to pick on us.
Okay, thanks, Kelly. Next is our strong economic development climate. I don't want to take too much time on these, but these are just a couple of highlights. As you know, the county legislature took a bold step in 2022 and said, we want to get a land bank done. There's been talk about it in the North Country for years. The only one that existed was the city of Ogdensburg. So we were happy to assist the county with developing the application for that land bank.
Right.
And it has been approved. It's the 27th in the state and only the 2nd in the North Country. That's something to celebrate. And I give a lot of credit to the legislature for just saying, we got to make this a priority. We got to get it done. And we were happy to help.
Good.
Over the new year, Russ and I, at the request of the county, worked on a broadband initiative to review addresses across Franklin County to make sure the federal broadband map is accurate. And between the two of us, we went through 737 addresses, line by line by line, to compare the data. From that effort, we found 178 addresses that needed to be submitted to the FCC in what's called a challenge, to say to the FCC, you missed these, you need to add these. And so hopefully if they're accepted, that'll be another 178 addresses that are on the national broadband map. And those addresses, the number of addresses on that map affect the amount of funding that comes to New York State through the federal government for broadband expansion.
Cool.
And then finally, we've been partnering with the Lake Champlain Lake George Regional Planning Board on a regional housing study. It's almost complete, and we were happy to support that project. We helped organize an open house at the Paul Smith Vic to bring residents of Franklin County into discussion. And then through a couple of our Main Street grants, we're able to get a few new housing units, either online or on tap to be created in our communities. Okay, so next we're going to turn this next one over to Russ, who's pictured in this. This is at the Small Communities, Big Opportunities Conference. That's where this picture was taken.
All right, great. So, one of our goals is to create an atmosphere and an environment where entrepreneurs can be successful, and that takes a lot of materials and resources to put together the structure to allow those businesses to be successful. I participated this week in the Northern Forest Center did a presentation on encouraging entrepreneurship, and they had 3 or 4 businesses that spoke about their journey as entrepreneurs and giving recommendations. And the thing that came up consistently was the benefit of having mentors and reaching out to your economic development organizations to walk you through the process and how helpful and beneficial those organizations were to those entrepreneurs and helping them identify opportunities, identify resources, and then kind of hand-holding them through the whole process. We all know a lot of these programs can be very complex, and there's a lot of programs that come and go. And so we serve as kind of a consistent database of all of those opportunities that people can just tap and we can kind of filter out what makes sense or doesn't make sense for those businesses. And I find myself doing that, at least once or twice a week with businesses that reach out to us and say, what opportunities are available for me? I want to do this, or, what do you think about this idea? Let's explore that a little bit. And the ones that we've worked with have come back to us and said how beneficial and how much they've appreciated the support that we've provided them through that. One of the things that we're really working hard on is raising awareness about the issue of businesses in transition and what's being called kind of the silver tsunami of folks that are getting ready to retire, move on to another stage of their life. And they're looking for someone to come behind them, take over their business. And I've been really working hard to raise, and we as a team have been working hard to raise the awareness of why that's so important for our communities, because these business owners represent skills, they represent abilities that, if we don't capture those talents, those skills and abilities, we might lose those for the next generation, especially in a specialized, area like dry cleaning is a particular skill set that we need to pass down from one generation to another. And so we're saving our workforce skills and our workforce abilities by preserving these businesses and preserving the amenities and services that they provide for our community. We can't really afford to lose any of our small businesses. And so being proactive and raising awareness that selling your business can be a really positive thing. It can be a positive story. We've seen it happen with the Pines. We've seen it happen with, and there's Chateauguay, there's a new business, bowling alley in Moira, Happy Camping RV. Preserving those amenities has been really critical. As well, we help support and facilitate grants to 7 businesses that created 6 jobs. There were more jobs to be created than we had employees to fill, so that number could have even been higher. And we awarded $500,000 in 7 grants to those businesses who are now more resilient and have new projects and new amenities and services to offer our community.
Okay. Thanks, Russ. Flourishing downtowns. Here's a picture from the announcement that Tupper Lake would receive this was the announcement for the actual awards through the Tupper Lake Downtown Revitalization Initiative. And Rachel's going to talk to us about this slide.
All right, so one of our goals is supporting our communities in Franklin County with revitalizing their downtowns. Our downtowns have faced decades of chronic disinvestment, and we have a lot of buildings that are in disrepair, and it requires a lot of investment and support and resources to revitalize our downtowns. So just a quick snapshot. In Malone, we awarded last year $275,000 to 4 projects, which will be creating 3 new housing units on Main Street, which is exciting. The Saranac Lake and Uptown Tupper Lake New York Main Street grant was closed out. So 4 of the 6 projects were completed last year for a total of $423,836 of both public and private funds invested. And we have assisted with 7 planning and funding applications throughout Franklin County. This funding that we offer and support that we offer often helps move projects forward that wouldn't be able to otherwise. The photo from the DRI announcement showed the rendering of what the Adirondack State Theater will look like in Tupper Lake in a couple years. The Adirondack State Theater was a New York Main Street grant recipient, as was Tupper Arts, which is buying the theater to convert it into not just keep it as a movie theater, but convert it into a performing arts center as well. And I would say those 2 projects are probably the ones that have the biggest visual impact and transformation on Park Street and Uptown Tupper Lake. And, when it comes to community development, there's, nothing we want to support more than the arts in our communities. So yeah, that's a quick snapshot of downtown revitalization last year.
Rachel, can you go back to to Malone
Mm-hmm.
with 4 projects awarded funding, and you said that's going to result in 3 additional new housing units?
Yep,
I'm
that's correct.
assuming those 3 housing units are one project?
No, those are 2 separate projects. One project is going to result in 2 new residential units and 2 new commercial units. And the other project is resulting in 1 residential unit, in addition to facade renovation
And then-
as well.
And then the other 2 projects are?
So the other project was facade renovations. But the building as a whole is being renovated by the property owner. And the other project is also for facade renovations. But our facade renovations aren't just for beautifying buildings. Like a lot of buildings have structural issues. And so it helps address health and safety concerns as well.
Okay,
And
the only reason why
prolonging the longevity of the building.
the only reason why I went back was when you look at this as 22 yearly accomplishments and you say there's 4 projects, when you say in Malone, we have 4 projects, that's going to result in 3 housing units, that really minimizes, as it was stated, the impact that our program has had in downtown Malone. So that was just, I know this is all in prep in part for what we're going to be doing to the county Economic Development Committee. And I think it's useful to expand rather than minimize, in a sense, when you're talking about something where we invested a significant amount of money at $275K.
Yeah, it's a good point.
That's an in-house suggestion.
Great.
We take on your suggestion. That's a good point.
All right.
There's more than just housing unit creation for sure.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Rachel. All right, resilient industries. I'm not going to take too much time on this. Kelly already referred to our In the Wilderness Works video series. Everyone's seen the Carsata video, right? Has everybody seen that?
Yeah.
I think we shared that. We'll be back to that in a minute. We were able, as you know, Saranac Lake Civic Center hosted the curling games at the curling venue for the recent university games. And we were pleased to help the Civic Center administer the funding that they received for the renovation. And it was really fun. I mean, the place is unrecognizable. It's a really great improvement. And thanks to Rachel for all her work on administering that grant. And as you know, back in December, we approved 3 pilot projects for community solar, and we are contributing to New York State's climate goals. They are resulting in a significant investment in Franklin County. And not only that, the fees that we collect help fund our operations and allow us to get back out there and do things on behalf of the community.
Yeah, it's great.
All right, so if I'm, in the interest of time, I'm gonna forego, I was gonna share the video, but I mean, Archie, Nate, I couldn't hear. Have you guys seen the video?
I have seen it, yep.
I have.
You have seen it?
Yep.
All right, so I'll share it again with everybody on YouTube. That was the first one. As Kelly said, we're wrapping up 2. They're just about finished. Another one just got filmed like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, cool.
And as they come out, we're putting them on YouTube and things, but when they're all together, Kelly's gonna package them up on the website and
We'll
roll
do
them out.
more of a press release and like some paid
Right.
promotion behind them
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Good.
yeah,
Good.
it'd be cool when they're all done. Yeah.
Good.
Okay. I'm gonna stop sharing. Any questions about what we went over today? Okay,
It's good. It's impressive.
Yeah, thanks,
so
Jeremy.
you've got the full report. This was just to do a kind of an exec summary snapshot, and we're proud of the work we're doing. Thank you for supporting it. And the report that you have has our accomplishments, but it also has our draft plan for 2023. In the interest of time, it was decided, and I was glad that somebody suggested it yesterday at our staff meeting, that next month, we're gonna come back and focus on our goals for 2023,
Good.
but it's in the report.
And the presentation to the Economic Development Committee will be using the slides you just showed us.
Some version of that, yes, yeah.
So we'll have those.
Yes,
Great.
it won't be exactly the same. There's some other things I want to incorporate, but yeah.
I like the inclusion of the website hits and all that is a
Yeah.
good thing. It isn't shown here, but that,
Yep. And if there's any other
great to have
metrics
people see it.
anyone thinks that would be beneficial, I'm sure we have them.
Yeah.
And maybe we didn't include it, or think of it. So if there's
We're
something
thinking
you'd like
of-
to see.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we're thinking of progress. Is that what we're showing? In other words, we
Yes.
want the county board. Should have indicated 2021, 2022. You know,
Yes.
as comparisons, because, I mean, that's a huge increase.
That's a good point.
Just a thought.
Yeah.
Okay,
No, I like that.
Mr. Chairman,
yes,
I think that
said Chairman.
the article that appeared on the front page of the Malone Telegram that reported the presentation that you, Jeremy, and Russ made to the Board of Legislatures went a long way to illustrate as to what this agency has done in the past year and has plans for in the future. And I think the comment that Justice made is we have an issue with getting the word out as to what the IDA, EDC can do for people. And I think that was a big help. And congrats to you all for that.
Thank you, Arch. Anything further on that item?
No, thank you for giving us the time to share what we've been up to. And you don't hear enough from all the staff sometimes, so I want to make sure they're all here and give you guys an
well
update.
done.
Yeah, I think it's great. Thank you. Let's see. Public comment. Any public comment? We all received the minutes of the previous meeting, February 8th, 2023. Are there any additions or corrections or deletions? Have a motion to accept the minutes of February 8th, 2023, please. Motion.
So move.
Moved by Arch,
Seconded by Steve.
second by Steve. All those in favor of accepting the approval, the previous minutes of the February 8th, 2023 meeting, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
Hi, everyone.
Bye, Rachel.
Thanks, Rachel. Now, committee reports, are there anything different in the committee reports than what we heard in the IDA meeting prior?
Nope.
Audit, no.
I'm sorry?
Audit and finance, no difference.
Yeah, thank you. Good, Arch. We'll now go on to the treasurer's report. Jeremy or Paul, any?
Same as I mentioned earlier, but one thing I forgot to point out is we're still doing the Treasury Direct. I'm still waiting to get verification for the EDC account. It's 12 to 13 weeks since I submitted the form. We're coming up close on that time. And in regards to rates, when we first got involved in this back in January, 4-week T-bill was going under 4%, and we just put one out for the IDA, but the current rates right now are about 4.7. So they've come up about 3/4 of a point since January.
Great.
Good, good for us. Great. Is there anything to note about the treasurer's report itself?
No,
Okay, if not, we'll accept a motion to approve the treasurer's report. Motion to approve the treasurer's report.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Archie, second. Second?
Steve seconds.
Steve, second. All in favor of adopting the treasurer's report, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. CEO report, we've already heard. On to old business,
None.
none. New business.
Mr. Chairman,
The only thing that's different here is 08. Is that correct?
Arch has a question.
Oh, Arch. Question.
this is just, with all of the press that the banks are receiving nationwide about failures and protection by FDIC on a maximum of $250,000 per account per bank. Do we have anything to be concerned about?
I can answer that. I mean, as Maria just said, municipalities, we require collateralization, which basically means the bank has to pledge collateral for anything above FDIC. It's held by a third-party custodian. I don't think there's any concern. Also, when I've monitored banks in the past, back in 2008, our current depository is a very conservative bank and is very, very strong. So I have no concerns whatsoever.
Thank you.
Thank you, Archie, for the question. Thank you, Paul, for the answer. We are now in a position of adopting the treasurer's report. All those in favor of doing so, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay? The ayes have it. New business, and I asked that question just before we got into this discussion. I guess the only thing that's different is the overnight travel and training resolution. correct?
03 is also different.
Oh, yeah, 03 is a new one.
So,
And
yeah, there shouldn't
07.
be,
Yeah,
Doesn't need to
I'm
be
just
any
asking the
discussion.
question because I just want to take them in order and quickly,
Yeah.
if we can do it.
number 2 can be done very quickly.
Okay, resolution 2023-02. Motion to accept. This will be quick. So
Archie.
moved by Archie. Second?
I'll second it.
Nate,
Second by
second.
Nate. Second by Nate. Any discussion? No discussion, therefore the roll call vote, please, Maria.
Okay, Sherry Boye is absent. James Ellis,
Yes,
Stephen Erman,
Yes.
Madeline Fleury is absent. Archie McKee,
Yes.
Nate Manette.
Yes.
Duly adopted.
thank you. 2023-03, the Environmental Services Consultant. Anything further there to discuss? Need a motion to put resolution 2023-03 on the floor.
So-
Environment,
So moved, Steve.
moved by Steve, second,
I'll second it.
second by Nate. All those, go ahead and call the roll, Maria.
Okay, Sherry Boye is absent. James Ellis,
Yes,
Stephen Erman,
Yes.
Madeline Fleury is absent. Archie McKee.
Yes.
Nate Manette.
Yes.
Duly adopted.
thank you, Maria. Resolution 2023-04, employee compensation. Jeremy?
Motion? Want to get a motion first?
Oh, thank you. Motion to put 2023-04 employee compensation on the table.
So moved.
Motion by-
Archie.
Whom?
Archie.
Archie.
Steve will second.
Steve will second. Now, we'll go into discussion here.
This affects our EDC employees, Rachel, Kelly, and Russ.
And you all received in your email a copy of the committee report. Archie, is there anything you want to add? That went to the audit and finance?
Correct.
Yep. Anything to add to this, Arch?
No, discussed it, and this is, just a minute, let me find it.
Take your
I
time.
don't want to speak out of turn again.
Just remember, it's like a crusty old first sergeant, that's all.
Right here. No, you just fix it right there.
Okay, no, that's exactly as we discussed. So moved.
And I'm sure the committee is recommending approval.
Correct.
Therefore, any further discussion? If not, Maria can call the roll for.
Okay, 2023-04. Sherry Boye is absent. James Ellis,
Yes,
Stephen Erman,
Yes,
Madeline Fleury is absent. Archie McKee.
Yes.
Nate Manette.
Yes.
Duly adopted.
thank you, Maria. Now, we gotta get beyond this sheaf of papers.
audit and annual report.
And next is, yeah, audit and annual report.
Yeah, no, you already did that. Didn't you?
Yeah, we didn't do the resolution. It's right there on the left. Yeah, that right there. Yep, that's it.
2023-05, accepting the financial FY 2022 FCEDC audit and annual report. Anything further to add? But let's get a motion on the floor first.
Motion to move.
Good thing you're here, Archie.
Gotta do something.
Motion by Archie to move resolution 2023-05 to the floor. Second,
It's either Steve or Nate.
I'll
I'll
second
do
it.
it. Nate,
Nate.
Beat you to it, Steve.
All right.
Beat you to it.
Thank you, Nate. We're on the floor. Any further discussion or anything we need to discuss? If not, in the absence of discussion, we'll assume the vote's been moved. Maria, go ahead and call the roll.
Okay, 2023-05. Sherry Boye is absent. James Ellis,
Yes,
Stephen Erman,
yes,
Madeline Fleury is absent. Archie McKee.
Yes.
Nate Manette.
Yes.
Duly adopted.
thank you, Maria. Now we move on to 2023-06 to adopt the revised travel policy.
it's the same as we did earlier, right?
Yes.
I'll move.
Motion by Steve to put 2023-06 on the floor for discussion.
I'll second. This is Archie.
Second by Archie. Any further discussion other than what we have done before? If not, then we'll assume the question has been moved. Maria can go ahead and call the roll.
2023-06. Sherry Boye is absent. James Ellis,
Yes,
Stephen Erman,
Yes,
Madeline Fleury is absent. Archie McKee.
Yes.
Nate Manette.
Yes.
Duly adopted.
thank you, Maria. Now 2023-07 to support the Tupper Lake Crossroads Hotel. I'd like to leave the chair for a second to explain this. We have been contacted by the town of Tupper Lake supervisor, Ricky DeTola, to enlist our support for sending a resolution to the state correcting or hopefully trying to correct a mistake that they may have made in the downtown revitalization when they were here to announce that in Tupper Lake in January. Anyway, it appears that somehow after the local committee had unanimously supported it being funded, the Crossroads Hotel, I'll explain that in a second, somehow the state ignored it and funded a lot of other things. The Crossroads Hotel is a private enterprise operation. It's trying to raise money to develop a hotel at the bottom of the hill. For those that are familiar with Tupper Lake, basically it's across from Stewart's. If you're all familiar where the Stewart's store is in Tupper Lake, right on the main street, Park Street. They have bought up all the property basically except for one house. and going down actually a block. So in other words, Park Street to Lake Street. So they, the owners, the Crossroads Hotel LLC, would like to build a hotel. They were already given one opportunity through, what was that state funding? that
It
they
was
got?
through Empire State Development.
Through Empire State Development, they already got funding for two and some odd million.
2.2.
Yep, 2.2 million. Now they're looking for a way to leverage that so they can begin construction. So those of you that read this resolution in your email know that basically we're saying that the community is saying that since the state's already made an investment, huge investment in Tupper Lake, why did this one go through the cracks? So we're asking, this thing is asking the people of, asking us, among others. There are other people that are involved in doing the same thing. Down on the fourth, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 whereas. You can see who's involved besides us being asked. The village of Tupper Lake was asked, town of Tupper Lake DRA Local Planning Committee, County of Franklin Industrial Development Agency, the Franklin County Board, and the North Country Regional Economic Development Council, and the state of New York. So we're asking them to reconsider what they've already done. There is funding left. Too bad Rachel left. I should have asked her. But there is already funding to meet their request that has since not been used. It's waiting to be used. And I can't remember what the amount was. Do you, Jeremy?
No, I don't.
Okay. But it appears that we're asking the state to correct a mistake that they made.
May I also add something to this?
Oh,
that
yes, please.
I've received information, I mean, literally in the last 24 hours about this project. And I'm hoping once I share it, we might alter the resolution just to be a little bit more accurate
And up to date.
and up to date.
Okay.
And so it was my understanding that the project had lost their initial funding,
The 2.5 million?
$2.2 million.
Okay.
And that it seemed strange to the community that the project was not then awarded funding through the DRI.
And it lost its funding because of
Just the length
time?
of time.
Length of time.
Yes, right.
So it
And so,
aged out.
so they lose funding, the state didn't want to keep it anymore, and they reapplied under DRI. And it was a recommendation from the committee, as Jim pointed out, but then it was not awarded anything through DRI.
Right.
That was my understanding. And I think a lot of people shared that. However, what actually happened was during that exact same time as the DRI awards were being announced, is they reapplied separately to Empire State Development and did receive $2.2 million again.
Well, basically reinstated their
Yes.
first award.
Right,
Okay.
right. So once I learned about that, it made me understand a little bit better what has happened here. And I think one of the things we can do is get that message out, because if we missed that, then a lot of the community might have missed that. And I think that those facts have been shared with other members of the community. And so what I would recommend for this resolution is that we just reaffirm our support for the project,
Okay.
but not reference the call to New York State to provide adequate funding, because they have. We weren't, that hadn't been clearly communicated to the community that the project has received $2.2 million again. And so, and this will, I think, align with what the message that is getting back to the town and the village as well. And again, this just came up in a conversation I had with the Community Development Director, Melissa McManus, yesterday afternoon. So this resolution went on the agenda at Jim's request. I wrote it up based on feedback from the town of Tupper Lake. But yesterday afternoon, I got some more information. This same information's been shared with the town and the village. And I think it would be a little bit stronger for us just to not call the state out, but affirm our support for the project.
Well, yeah, I don't have any problems with that. I just, can we, as an organization, I'm asking the question of everybody, can we just go ahead, and I'll get the answer from Jeremy, I'm sure. Just go ahead and approve the concept and you can put the language together?
What I would say is where it says, therefore be it resolved
Yes,
paragraph,
yeah,
just end it after hotel project. That's it.
okay.
Get rid of the rest of that sentence.
So from the word project on, take it out.
Yeah,
Okay,
end it at project, period. And that's
okay,
it.
then we'll have to have an amendment to the resolution, or to the, motion.
Yeah.
Okay, we can do that.
Motion yet.
No motion yet, Maria said.
What's that?
Maria said there's no motion yet.
Well, because we were explaining it, now it's explained.
Can I,
But nobody
take-
brought it to the table.
Yes,
I'll make the motion to bring it to the table.
motion by Steve to bring it to the table.
Question for Jim?
Oh,
Nate seconded.
Hey,
Nate, second.
Okay, Nate
Okay,
second.
Thanks, go ahead.
Question to Jim, with the information that Jeremy just relayed to us, when that's received by the town and the village, do you think that will change their view about whether they should be pushing for the additional money from DRI, or will they persist in pushing for the DRI money?
Well, and you see, and that's where my confusion came.
I don't think they will be pushing because I don't think there is DRI money available.
Because the state could look at this like we're into it for a 2.2, or we were. They should, in fact, since it aged out, why don't they go back for the 2.2? We could make that available. I'm trying to think of if I were a reviewer for the state, looking at the DRI recommendations, and they may have said, since we're already in for 2.2, then we're going to limit our exposure and not go in for the additional money through the
Which is what they did,
DRI.
which is, I thought they had, that was the message to me in my little pea brain mind. The state really tried to kill it with faint praise.
Right. But
So in other words, the 2.2, I assumed
Was still there.
was still there.
right. It was, and then it wasn't, and then it was.
So now the community may be satisfied that the 2.2 is being restored.
Right. And what I'm suggesting is that simply taking that sentence off. We're not, I'm not sure we should opine
But the
that
state should,
that what the state should do, or that the state has not done enough. Because with the $2.2 million investment, they're the largest single investment in the project. And so who are we to tell the state to do more?
okay.
We can still reaffirm our support for this transformative project.
Well, without taking everybody else's time, I think it begs the question again. Because everybody that was involved in this to begin with was under the same assumption I was. The 2.2 was there,
Yes.
they asked for some more money.
And I think
But that's all right.
in the last, I don't know, 24 hours, 48 hours, 96 hours, that
It's called how to
That's-
screw up a 3-car funeral. That's what they did.
been, that's been something that's been discussed in the community, and I was just made aware of it yesterday. And we could certainly come back again once more information's found if we need to, but to do something a little bit safer, stronger,
So that was my question,
politically correct.
that was my question for Jim, because if we're then out there saying the state gave money, the state should give more money, and the community says, thank you for the restoring the 2.2, and they don't keep pushing on the additional money, then we're out there pushing for something that the community itself isn't pushing for.
Right.
And that puts us in a very
Right.
odd position.
I would suggest then that we withdraw the whole motion until we get further
Okay,
information.
that's an
I mean,
option
that's my
too.
suggestion. That doesn't prevent Steve from leaving it on the table
Yeah.
or Nate from seconding.
It could be
I would-
tabled.
Nate, what do you think?
Yeah, I would wait for more information and then make a decision.
Okay. I think the appropriate way to go then, see, you have to withdraw your second, Steve has to withdraw his motion.
I don't want to withdraw the motion yet, because I'm wondering if it makes
No,
sense.
no, what I'm saying is if we can move to table.
But
As this is.
and I'd say, do we want to table or do we want to pass a resolution in support of that project? And then subsequent to this, we could pass a further resolution if needed, once we find out more clarification, when we get clarification where the town is going on this.
Well, we're in
The wording of the motion right now is, when you took the sentence off, Jeremy, could you just read the?
The Franklin County Economic Development Corporation reaffirms its support for Tupper Lake Crossroads Hotel project,
period.
period.
I'd still move that. I would, I think it makes sense to still pass that. But
Mr. Chairman,
If you're,
Sir.
should be to pull it back,
Archie.
Jim,
yeah,
table it.
Yeah, just a moment. Go ahead, Art.
who would this resolution be going to?
It's going back to the town of Tupper Lake. They're gonna collect them.
And they're gonna use it as support for their project,
Yeah,
okay? I think if we don't do something with this, it does get passed, it's already been moved and seconded, so it's on the table. And if we take a vote or no vote occurs, the motion fails. And I don't think that's a good thing to have on our record. I
well,
think
I don't
that,
think so. The problem we had to begin with is the motion has to be amended.
Why can't we do what
Take it
Jeremy
off.
said and change the literature of it a little bit?
why can't we
I'm sorry.
amend it?
Because if we're gonna drop that last, as Jeremy has suggested, if we drop the last, excuse me,
He's just coughing.
oh, okay, I didn't hear anything, sorry. If we want to drop that last that last phrase and calls on New York State to provide adequate funding, it's amending the resolution.
Right,
we
so
can
I
do that
think,
at the
I think I think everyone's suggesting that might be a good way to go, right? So with a
I am.
motion in a sec, so everyone is, so a motion in a second's good. So now we need a motion on the original
ahead.
resolution. We need a motion to drop the rest of that sentence and a second and a vote on that motion to drop that sentence. That's all we need to do right now.
Because
Okay, I'll make a motion that we dropped in the last sentence from "and calls on New York State."
Yep.
Archie, could I make a suggestion that you just say, I'd like to amend the original motion?
I'd like to amend the
Just-
original motion,
Yeah, okay,
Mr. Chairman.
Now we need a second.
now we need a second.
I'll second, as the maker of the first motion, I'll second Archie's.
And then we need a vote on that, on the amendment.
Okay, so we're voting on the amendment?
Now we're
Maria,
voting on the amendment so we can then vote on the amended motion.
Roll call on the amendment.
Roll call on the amendment, Maria.
Okay, this is a roll call on the amendment, and Sherry Boye is absent. James Ellis,
Yes,
Stephen Erman,
Yes,
Madeline Fleury is absent. Archie McKee,
Yes.
Nate Manette.
Yes.
Okay.
Now
Adopted.
we have,
now we'll have a vote on the motion as amended.
Yep.
Go ahead and call the roll call, Maria.
Okay, Sherry Boye is absent. James Ellis,
Yes,
Stephen Erman,
yes,
Madeline Fleury is absent. Archie McKee,
Yes.
Nate Manette.
Yes.
Okay. So that's.
good, thanks, Nate.
thank you.
Yep.
Almost sprained her ankle.
I gotta head to another meeting.
We'll
see you tomorrow.
Good to see you, bud.
Justice. Thank you. Okay,
I think that's,
resolution 2023-08, overnight travel and training. That's brand new, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
I need a motion.
Motion to put that resolution on the floor, 2023-08, overnight travel
make
and
that.
training.
Nate
Made by
has it.
Second,
Archie's got a
Archie
second.
seconds.
I can't.
I tried to make it self-explanatory, but any additional questions?
Hearing none, we'll assume the motion's been moved. Go ahead, Maria, call the roll call.
Kate, Sherry Boye is absent. James Ellis,
Yes.
Stephen Erman,
Yes,
Madeline Flurry is absent. Archie McKee,
yes.
Nate Manette,
Yes.
duly adopted.
Thank you. Executive session, is there any need?
Well, we need to get the CDC meeting done by 4 o'clock, correct?
Correct.
Jesus.
So,
No
We-
executive session.
yeah,
What-
we need to keep moving.
Okay.
So
Can
moved.
Can I have a motion to adjourn the EDC meeting?
Archie
Motion
made the motion.
What did she say?
Archie made the motion.
Oh, I didn't hear it. Go ahead. Second. Second for adjournment.
second,
Second by Steve.
thank you.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Our date of our next